Hi there, welcome to Nonsense Whisky. My name is VMPF, and on today's episode, we've got some more independent bottlings for you. Going to be doing a lot of those. I did promise earlier in the year that I would do more independent bottlings. You guys, especially the hardcore fans that stuck with me through summer, and the gap that I left between these kind of new look videos and the old look videos, this is really for kind of people like yourselves who really stuck with me. Yeah, these aren't going to pull views, these are for the core people. This is another Scotch Malt Whisky Society offering, and in this situation, we have the 28.42. Now, I'm sure most of you know what the designation of this already is, but I do like to reiterate it just in case you are new to the SMWS. The way they do their codings is the first set of numbers you see before the decimal place is the number of the distillery. So it's the 28th distillery that they have pulled liquid from. It's meant to be a semi-secret, it's not really that much of a secret because you can go on the internet and find these things out. If you put it into Google now, you'll be able to find out which distillery this is. But today we're not going to talk about the distillery because it really isn't that important when you're talking about SMWS stuff. It's about the core liquid. After the decimal place, in this case the 42, is the 42nd cask that they have bottled from that distillery. Really quite simple, but sometimes it gets a bit confusing. They do some bourbons and they do some other things from around the world, rums and stuff that all have different codes. But we're talking about scotches here. We're talking about scotches. Also, in the SMWS glass, and I have to say, I'm not too keen on this particular glass because, especially if you look in comparison to a Glencairn, it's a little bit narrower. Not much, just a little bit. And I find that a lot of the things that the SMWS do are really high ABVs. Some are less than others, but this one in particular is a 60.5%, which is really quite high. And this tends to kind of send it right up your nostril. So as with this one, I've left this sat out on the side for a number of minutes. I'm not sure exactly, but you want to be leaving things like this roughly sort of 15-20 minutes. There's no hard and fast rule. Leave it as long or as little as you like, as long as it isn't like overnight or something like that. This one here is called the Zesty Sherbety Sweet and Sour. Now, the other thing you need to know about the SMWS is that they give all of their bottlings kind of weird, funky names, and they're meant to give a bit of an idea about what you're tasting. They do tend to have fun with them a lot. Don't take them too seriously, especially the weirder ones. You might think it's pretentiousness, but having spoken to the SMWS at great lengths and some of their ambassadors and whatnot, they really are just having fun with it, and sometimes they're even poking a bit of fun. Now, they also have some gradings. This is one of my favourite graphics, so I'll bang this up here. And this one falls in the young and sprightly section. So find that among here and you kind of have an idea about what you're looking at. Now, more information about this one. The best thing about the SMWS is that they tell you basically everything you need to know to find out if you're going to enjoy this or not, or if it's going to be something you want to check out like an area. In the glass today, we've got an 11-year-old whiskey. It was distilled on the 7th of June 2007. It's a Highlands region, so that's getting a little bit closer to the actual distillery itself. There's not that many, so you can start to have a little bit of a guess on it. They're all non-chill filtered, all natural coloured. There you go. I wonder if I can get a bit closer to that. It should recalibrate. Maybe. We'll see. It's a 60.5%, as I said. It's a first fill ex-bourbon barrel. All good. And this is £56 for members. So if you are a member of the SMWS, you can go and check this one out. One of 204 bottles. Still available right now, I understand. All right, enough gaff. Let's talk about the whiskey itself, shall we? Let's get on the nose. So it's called Zesty, Sherbety and Sweet and Sour. So already I'm having some kind of lead on it. But for me, it's got this kind of huge, really odd nose. A nose that I haven't really spent much time in before. Haven't smelt this kind of stuff on many whiskies. We're talking, it's really high in the wood, some grassy elements to it. But the weirdest thing about it is this kind of back end of blackberries. It isn't in your face blackberries, you really have to dig deep for it, but it is there. Did read it in the official tasting notes, so might well be that I'm being led by that, but you never know. Really, really nice. Now, the SMWS do a lot of tasting notes. That's not me. I don't do that kind of thing on the channel. They also add water, something else that I don't do. This is just a sample size, so I'm not going to mess around wasting too much of the liquid by adding water to it. If I had a bottle, then maybe. Let's try on the palate. As always with the SMWS stuff, you're going to get a high ABV hit. Sometimes you get it on the nose, sometimes you get it on the palate. This time around, didn't get it on the nose so much, got it on the palate more, which is okay, just one of those things. But if you're not ready for it, 60% can hit you hard. For me, once you've got rid of that kind of initial boof of the ABV, we are talking about this kind of zesty, sherbety stuff, which is, again, probably being led a little bit by it, but it is what it is with that sort of thing. Definitely this kind of sherbety effervescence to it, this fizziness to it. Really quite tasty. After that, I'm getting a kind of pepperiness, and there is a fruity element to it as well. But overall, this is really, really tasty dram. It's very different to a lot of things that I've tried before. If you want to know what distillery it is, then by all means go and look it up, and you can see. I mean, I do know what distillery it is, but I haven't tried any of their whiskies on the channel before, so not really being led by that. And this is a cheaper one. This is a £56 one. The SMWS range from about that sort of £50 mark all the way up to the hundreds for the kind of really high age stuff. This is obviously 11 years old, so it's a little bit cheaper. But I think well worth a go if you're a member, and if you're not, then you can think about joining at some point. Brilliant little whiskey. I'm really pleased with that. I'm going to probably add the rest of that to my Infinity bottle just to get a little bit of an edge. It is mostly peat at the moment, my Infinity bottle, which I'm going to cover around Christmas time. So I'm trying to re-edge that a little bit. There you go. That's my look at this latest SMWS. Don't forget to hit the like button if you want to see more stuff like this. I've got a couple more SMWSs to go, so I'll try and get them out before Christmas. But I'll see you again on another No Nonsense Whisky video.